Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for the starting command for today's Zaxby SpeedFest. 325 laps of racing before us. And now for the famous words, Jeff Hood from Zaxby's.
On behalf of the employees of the 600 Zaxby's restaurants around this great nation, gentlemen, start your engines!
And 60 late models come to life here on the front stretch. 29 of them are ARCA CRA Super Series Super late models. They'll head pit side and wait for the 31 starters of the Jag CRA All-Stars Tour presented by Chevrolet Performance as they get ready to run in the Chevrolet Performance 125. We'll get the super late models moved, get the Pro late models set to go for 125 laps of feature racing here at Watermelon Capital Speedway. We thank you for tuning in on Speed51.com's live radio broadcast of Zaxby SpeedFest 2014 here in Cordele, Georgia. Yellow flag laps will count up to the first 100 laps of the Chevrolet Performance 125. The last 25 will be run under green flag conditions. A stout field, a stellar field, a very diverse field, to say the least, here in Cordele, Georgia, as we get ready to go. 325 laps of racing as my partner in crime, Adam Mackey, making his way up to the tower here, high above Watermelon Capital Speedway, and as he gets settled in, we'll get ready to go here. A beautiful sight, to say the least. 31 Jag CRA All-Stars Tour competitors, 29 ARCA CRA Super Series Super late models, all on the track at the same time. Truly a sight to behold here, the kickoff, the 2014 racing season, the 18th year for Champion Racing Association, powered by Jags. As we get set to go, the Jag CRA All-Stars Tour once again will be up first with the Chevrolet Performance 125. They will be followed by the ARCA CRA Super Series with the running of Zaxby SpeedFest 200.
Here we go.
Oh, I can't wait. Race fans, on behalf of all of us with Champion Racing Association, powered by Jags, we want you to get up. We want you to stand up. Come on, everybody. Get up, get up, get up, get up. It's time to wave the first race of the 2014 racing season for Champion Racing Association, powered by Jags. This is the Jag CRA All-Stars Tour presented by Chevrolet Performance. This is the running of the Chevrolet Performance 125.
31 starters crossing under the double checkers of starter Scotty Minlin for SpeedFest 2014, presented by Zaxby's. Hunter Robbins, Dwayne Begay, Anderson Bowen, Justin South, our first four starters in formation. Mark Day starting on the inside of row number 3. Peyton Ryan, young driver, just 15 years of age. What a great qualifying run he had. He starts in the 6th position. John Hunter Nemechek in the 7th spot. Rounding out our top 10, the top 3 qualifiers, Bubba Pollard, Garrett Jones, and the fast qualifier, Jeff Cannon from Couts, Indiana. The 2-to-go signal is above the field as they go under the start-finish line, and a couple of laps away from getting this one underway. Zaxby SpeedFest 2014.
A very diverse field amongst the 31 starters of the Chevrolet Performance 125. At least 5 drivers, Adam, making their late model debut in this race here in just a couple moments. You add in the crafty veterans like Mark Day, Dwayne Begay, Bubba Pollard, and Jeff Cannon, a long-time competitor up at Indiana Motor Speedway, as you mentioned, a former track champion up there in the Chicagoland Speedway. It's a very diverse field. It's going to be very interesting to watch as Chief Starter Scotty Minlin gives them the 1 lap to go signal.
Who will claim the victory? Just 2 different SpeedFest Pro winners. Chase Elliott winning the last 3. Greg Simpson winning the first 2 at Lanier. Under CRA sanctions, Simpson and Elliott, the 2 winners. We're going to see a different one today. Neither are in the pro fields. And Matt, bring him to green.
Hunter Robbins on the inside, Dwayne Begay on the high side, leads them through turn 3 and 4. Chief starter Scotty Minlin has the green flag in hand. The 2014 racing season is underway.
Into the first corner we go. A great start on the outside lane for Dwayne Begay as they race off the second corner. Checking up a bit is Justin South to avoid going off into the dirt. We're clean and green down the back stretch to 3. Robbins a half car length lead to turn 4.
Coming out of turn 4, leader of lap 1 will be Hunter Robbins in the 18. Dwayne Begay riding second. Justin South on the outside gets around Anderson Bowen for third. Here comes a pair of 8s behind Anderson Bowen. The black 8 of John Hunter Nemechek, the red 8 of Mark Day.
Zella Georgia driver Jordan McCollum, the number 2 is slowed. Trouble down in turn number 3. Off the racetrack goes Brilliant. Terry Seneker Jr. in the 00 also spins.
Also the 24 of Amber Slagle goes around. She spins to avoid. Looks like everyone seems to be okay. No damage, it appears, from our vantage point as Brandon Brilliant pulls away.
It all happened mid-pack, Matt. Going into that third corner, some contact ensued. We saw the 12 of Brilliant go around. The 00 of Seneker was in a spin cycle as he tornadoed himself right off the banking into the dirt. And Slagle, you mentioned as well, it all came after McCollum had slowed, but he was well behind the field. He wasn't the cause. He was heading pit side with some issues on the McCollum number 2.
And prior to the start of the race, the number 7 of Josh Atkins, the Doghouse Core Racing Products Ford from Cumming, Georgia, pulled on the pit road. He did not take the green flag as that crew continues to work on that machine. As we look back over in turns 3 and 4, Slagle still turns sideways in that number 24 machine. Brandon Brilliant looks like will pull on the pit road.
Conditions the best that we've had in the few days that we've been here, Matt. Early on Friday, frigid conditions in the 30s and maybe into the 40s at the very best on Friday. Yesterday up around 60, but the wind was high and made the wind chill feel much colder. Today, less wind, warm conditions, at least warmer than we've seen, and we're ready to go back to green in turn 4.
Robbins and Begay lead them on a 4. Green flag is out. We're back underway. As Robbins and Begay remain side by side heading into turns 1 and 2. Robbins now with a slight advantage. Coming out of turn number 2, shoots up in front of Begay. They head into 3. 3 wide into turn 3.
South is caught in the middle of that sandwich. On the inside is John Hunter Nemechek. He looks strong right now in the early going. He's been fast in the pro car all weekend. Pretty good maneuver as well. And he's looking on the inside of Justin South for the 3rd spot. You can run inside here, you can run outside, and right now they're proving it front of the field.
Nemechek and South side by side for that final podium position of 3rd. Nemechek almost got to South there as they cross the start-finish line. Justin South with the advantage in 3rd. 12 laps completed, 113 to go. Nemechek and South remain side by side for 3rd and 4th. Mark Day to the inside of Anderson Bowen to crack the top 5.
Couple of the number 8 cars moving forward. Mark Day, one of those, but in front of him, John Hunter Nemechek, the youngster, still working on Justin South. Both equally running around the Speedway at close speeds. Right behind Begay as well as Robbins. I think one of those drivers would be able to make the pass if Begay and Robbins weren't there. Going off the backstretch for a moment was the number 12 of Fisher. Was able to get back on though and continue in the right direction.
One driver on the move, 13-year-old Harrison Burton in that number 12 machine. He started 11th. He goes to the outside of Garrett Jones to take over the 7th spot. The 13-year-old from Huntersville, North Carolina, almost completes the pass on Garrett Jones, but Jones fighting back on the inside.
Single file formation, top 2. Robbins has put 2 car lengths on Dwayne Begay. Nemechek drives to the bottom of Dwayne Begay for the number 2 spot in 3 and 4.
Nemechek trying that inside on Dwayne Begay. They're side by side into turns 1 and 2. Not anymore. John Hunter Nemechek now into 2nd. Now Justin South looking trying to get to the inside of Begay as they head into 3.
Nemechek looks very good right now. Nemechek running the bottom line behind him. South also moved to the bottom, and Begay is dropped to the number 4 spot. Next up to try to make a pass on Begay is Anderson Bowen. Is heating up for 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Garrett Jones has gotten away from Harrison Burton for now as they both Burton gets by Day. Mark Day slides back into the 8th position. Give Garrett Jones 6th, Harrison Burton 7th. Here comes Spencer Davis in the 129.
Meanwhile, Anderson Bowen, the youngster from Sewanee, Georgia, has been able to pick up the number 4 position. Bowen has cleared Dwayne Begay. It's Begay and Mark Day, the 2 drivers that are fading a bit now early on in this 125 from Zaxby SpeedFest.
Out front, the Dubs Thermal Products Ford from Montgomery, Alabama. Hunter Robbins continues to lead the 18. John Hunter Nemechek riding second in the number 8. Justin South running in the third spot in the 51. Anderson Bowen is fourth, all by himself in the number 29. Dwayne Begay has a bumper full of Garrett Jones, and here comes the 14-year-old from West Palm Beach, Florida.
Garrett Jones looking strong. That's a beautiful number 88, and it's also running very fast around this Watermelon Capital Speedway this Sunday afternoon. Move Garrett Jones up into position number 5.
Begay shuffled back to 6th, but not for long. Here comes Harrison Burton now to the number 12 machine. He'll try to get by Begay. Begay gets away for now. Spencer Davis back in the field, gets by Mark. Davis was shuffled back, and now Bubba Pollard in the SNL shovel on turn number 3. Cole Rouse off the track at turn number 3, locks up the brakes and avoids the creek behind turns 3 and 4, but the caution flag flies on lap 22.
Off the racetrack heading into that third corner, locked it down. Dirt was flying, dirt everywhere. It's really dry out there, well, until you get to the creek, of course, and that's where Brandon Jones found on Friday. But a nice job by Rouse to at least lock it down to avoid going all the way out into the field, into the creek. And we have our second caution here with 23 laps complete. Racing very good right now. Hunter Robbins leading. He could be in trouble, though. John Hunter Nemechek looks very fast.
Nemechek looking awfully strong. Ironically enough, this is Nemechek's only second appearance in a pro late model. He's been primarily a super late model competitor, decided at the Snowflake 100 back in December to jump into a pro late model, did very well in the Snowflake 100, and now he is looking to challenge Hunter Robbins for that top spot.
Field rolling into turn 3. Hunter Robbins has been our early leader, but now 28 laps will go on the board, and Robbins has Nemechek to the outside. Great restart, double wide all the way through the field. Even across the line, they head into turn 1. Robbins is light edge.
Nemechek fighting on the outside. They remain side by side, going down the backstretch, heading into 3 and 4. They are door handle to door handle, coming out of turn number 4 to complete lap 29. New leader, John Hunter Nemechek.
John Hunter Nemechek into number 1 position. Robbins dropping back to second. Justin South is third. South looks to be quick as well. He's closing quickly on the 18 of Robbins for the number 2 position. It's side by side for fourth.
Garrett Jones working his way through, trying to get by the 29 of Anderson Bowen for that 4th spot. Behind him, Harrison Burton gets by the 45 of Dwayne Begay. Move the 13-year-old from Huntersville, North Carolina, up to the 6th spot as he has the best seat in the house as he watches the Jones-Bowen battle.
South on the bottom, makes a little bit of contact, middle of the front straightaway with the 18 of Robbins. Robbins giving him plenty of room through 1 and 2. Your early leader in a bit of trouble right now as the 51 of South has been able to get to the inside. He's going to be able to clear him here in the next lap. Still, though, the 18 of Robbins fighting hard in group number 2.
John Hunter Nemechek continues to lead. 32 laps are in the books for the Chevrolet Performance 125. The battle for second rages on. Justin South now with a slight advantage coming out of turn number 4. Hunter Robbins trying to fight back on the outside. He maintains second for now.
Into corner number 1, side by side, wheel to wheel. They made contact once or twice, racing each other pretty clean. A little bit of a bobble by Robbins. He slides sideways off of 2. He loses second. Now he tries to hold off the 88 of Jones for third.
Jones looking to the inside of your early race leader, Hunter Robbins. Jones wasting no time. The 14-year-old already with a 2013 track championship. That came at Five Flag Speedway. Now, the 14-year-old is on the podium. He's up to third, but Hunter Robbins fighting back once again, trying to make that outside group work.
Robbins fading away after his early lap led, but right now Jones, the youngster, takes over the number 3 position. A lot of young flavor up in the top 10 of this race, Matt, and that's not a big surprise. There's some pretty good shoes in their teenage years here at Watermelon Capital Speedway. Trouble in 3 and 4. We've got some heading towards the creek. Look out.
We may, almost lost Justin Ashburn in the creek. His teammate, T.W. Fisher, is involved in the incident as well. One car can't quite make it out. Looks like Amber Slagle spun to avoid for the 2nd time in this event.
Waylon Jenkins was involved as well. He's able to pull away.
Also, Peyton Ryan, heavy damage to his machine in turn number 1 in a separate incident. Front end absolutely destroyed on that Jack Link's Beef Jerky Chevrolet. Tough break for the Jonesville, Louisiana driver.
I would guess into the turn 1 wall, right at the end of the front straightaway would be my guess. It is heavy, heavy damage. There are some marks at the end of the front straightaway wall. Not sure if any of those were the result of his impact, but heavy damage, as you mentioned, to Peyton Ryan, who started 6th in today's field, the Jack Link's Beef Jerky 5-4 Motorsports Chevrolet, just 15 years of age. Great qualifying run. First time I've been able to see him on the racetrack, and up to that point was very impressive.
Yes, a graduate of the Summer Shootout Series at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Legend cars, making the big jump at him from Legends to late models. This was his late model debut here this afternoon. Unfortunately, not the way he wanted to start his late model career.
CRA pace truck will pull off into the infield, and we'll be ready for some more green flag racing. We've had a couple of decent green flag runs now during the course of this race, and been able to see some of the quicker cars start to work their way to the front. One of those, Nemechek, is the current race leader. He has Justin South flanking him on the outside in the field, ready for green flag racing again.
Chief Star Scotty Menlin has the green flag in hand. It goes high up in the air. We're back underway. And John Hernandez with a great restart on Justin South. Clears him going into turns 1 and 2. Battle continues for the third. Garrett Jones trying to hang on, but Hunter Robbins again trying to make that outside groove work.
I was looking mid-pack. It got a little bit hairy there for a moment as Dalton Brendel made it 3 wide going into the first turn. Brendel and Davey Cole made some contact. The car on the outside, it might have been Seneca, slid back a little bit. Nonetheless, those still racing side by side as Garrett Jones and Hunter Robbins battle for third.
Anderson Bowen riding in the 5th spot in the 29. Harrison Burton trying to hold off Dwayne Begay, who's running in the 7th spot behind Begay. A battle is brewing. Bubba Pollard, Spencer Davis, Corey Rubel, Jeff Cannon, all in a dogfight for those positions heading into 3.
Hunter Robbins pulling the crossover on Garrett Jones on the front stretch. He was on the outside, Jones was on the inside, and Jones kind of came off the banking, closed the door. Robbins goes back underneath him, heading into the first corner. Those two still going at it for the number 3 position as they head to 3.
Anderson Bowen with the best seat in the house of this Jones-Robbins battle as they come down the front stretch to complete lap 50, 2/5 of the way through the Chevrolet Performance 125. John Hunter Nemechek continues to show the way. Justin South in second. Hunter Robbins has cleared Garrett Jones. He takes third. Jones shuffled back to 4th. He's got a back bumper full of Anderson Bowen.
Just a little now over 40% of this race complete as Nemechek and South pull away from the 3rd place competitor Hunter Robbins. It is a 2-car breakaway, back 5 car lengths to the number 3 position in Robbins. 4th is Garrett Jones, and Bowen now leading in that 5th position, the 6th place car of Harrison Burton, who's running strong early.
Back in the field, Corey Rubel dive bombed the 129 of Spencer Davis in an effort to take over the 9th spot. There's a battle for 9th and 10. Spencer Davis working his way back around the outside in the 129. Behind him, a great run for the number 3 of Kyle McCollum. As McCollum to the inside takes the spot from Jeff Cannon. He'll take 11, and right behind him, here comes a surgeon, J.J. Haley.
McCollum is strong, but that Rubel car, the 66, started this race back in 17th, and he's working his way into the top 10. Corey Rubel finished 4th in last year's Pro Late Model 4 and I think he's throwing his name into the hat to maybe get in the top 5 again today.
Without a doubt. Up front, though, John Hunter Nemechek is your leader, but Justin South not letting him stray too far out in front of him as they work on lap number 56. Nemechek, South, Robbins, we got trouble. Caution flag. Turn number 4. David Hodges turns around. Mark Day goes around. 1 car out in the weeds behind turn number 4. That is Cole Rouse in the number 20 machine. Caution flies for the 4th time this afternoon.
And nose first right into the tire barriers at the end of the front stretch wall is Waylon Jenkins from Henderson, Tennessee. So all of those drivers involved. I think maybe the most severely damaged car is that 21 of Jenkins, who's going to sustain some front end damage off of the tire barriers at the end of the wall. Double wide formation throughout our field. Nemechek and South up front. Different car number, different look for South this weekend. Many wouldn't recognize him.
Yeah, we're used to seeing him in the number 43 machine. Matter of fact, it was in the number 43 where he won over at Memphis International Raceway last October for his first JEG CRA All-Stars Tour win.
Going to be looking for a second. He was just as quick as Nemechek on the short run we had in our last green flag period. He's going to lag back a little bit, laying back, trying to maybe get a run on Nemechek, though I'm sure that's not really much cared for by race director Glenn Luckett. The field does go green coming off of 4. Good restart for both in our front row. Nemechek and South into turn number 1.
South trying to maintain that high line, but John Hunter Nemechek closes the gap coming out of turn number 2. Battle for the 3rd position. Anderson Bowen got by Garrett Jones on the start. He'll challenge Hunter Robbins for that 3rd spot.
You mentioned top qualifier Jeff Cannon. He bonside 3 wide into the 3rd corner. He was able to get by Spencer Davis. Couldn't get by Rubel, but he does move into the top 10.
A gentleman that's on the move, the 14 of Davey Coble. My goodness, he started way back in the field in 26. He is currently up to 12 now in the 14. A good run for the Madison, Tennessee driver.
Talked about Coble earlier. He was involved side by side with Dalton Grindle. Trouble coming off of 2. Fisher goes around in the 12. It was some contact. He was side by side with the aforementioned Grindle in the 2nd corner. He pushed up the banking, got into the driver's side door of Grindle, and looped it around on his own solo car spin. This should take very little cleanup. Fisher already rolling again in the 2nd corner and heading around the racetrack.
67 laps completed, working on lap number 68 of the Chevrolet Performance 125. John Hunter Nemechek continuing to show the way in the number 8 machine. This time by, they will complete lap 70 laps in the books, 55 laps to go. Tough break for the number 3 of Kyle McCollum, who pulls behind pit wall. Appears to be done for the afternoon.
He was having himself a decent run. Worked his way up to about the 12th position. I think a little while ago started the race 14th. Jordan McCollum had issues early in this one and had to come to pit road.
Pace truck pulls on to pit road. It's in the hands of John Hunter Nemechek, who chooses the inside in these double file restarts. Justin South forced to the high side as they make their way through turns 3 and 4. Chief starter Scotty Menlin's got the green flag in hand, and we are back underway working on lap number 72.
Good restarts throughout the field. If there's one thing we have seen today so far, it's very good restarts. And the lap thereafter. And right now, John Hunter Nemechek goes back out front. Justin South in the 2nd position has Hunter Robbins racing to the bottom. Robbins has to check up as his momentum carried him into the high lane. He avoids contact with Justin South, but South might be able to hold him off, and we've got one around. Ragg has spun into the inside retaining wall on the front straightaway. Matthew Ragg brings out the caution on the front stretch in lap number 73.
Tough break for the 28-year-old from Gillsville, Georgia, as he spins her back around and gets it moving forward. Yep, tough break for Ragg as we can continue. That is our 6th caution flag of the afternoon in the Chevrolet Performance 125 for the JEG CRA All-Stars Tour, presented by Chevrolet Performance.
Didn't see what caused the Ragg spin on the front stretch, but we have completed 81 and make it 82 at the line of our scheduled 125 for the Zaxby SpeedFest 200. 125, and then the 200 coming up second today on our schedule as the 1-to-go signals given to John Hunter Nemechek and Justin South.
Getting down to the final segment, if you will, the Chevrolet Performance 125, a pair of black cars on that front row. John Hunter Nemechek again choosing the inside lane. Justin South being forced to the high side on this restart. When they come by, they will complete lap number 83 as they slowly make their way through 3 and 4, anticipating the restart.
Still a lot of tough challengers out on the raceway. Not any major big-time pile-ups. We've had a few caution flags. Middle portion of this race, we're back underway. The green is in the air and heading into the 1st and 2nd turn. John Hunter Nemechek's going to head back into the lead. Trouble coming off of turn 2. Grindle gets into the 14 of Coble. Off the track goes Rouse. He keeps moving. We'll keep this one under green. Grindle sticking his nose in between Cable and another car. Coble in another car and made it 3 wide, and it got a little bit scary. Somehow Coble steered out of it.
And after all that, Justin South and Hunter Robbins continue to battle for that 2nd spot with John Hunter Nemechek right in front of them. This time by 85 laps completed, 40 laps to go. Nemechek your leader. The battle continues for 2nd. South on the outside. Robbins now working that inside groove.
As they continue to battle, Nemechek's going to try to pull away, gain some distance on 2nd and 3rd. He drops to the bottom, gets a good run coming off of turn 4. Meanwhile, South and Robbins both closing in on the leader, so he hasn't been able to pull away like we thought he might. Gets a good run off of turn 2 though, and Robbins and South again closing.
Anderson Bowen is 4th. Garrett Jones is 5th. Harrison Burton 6th. And quietly up to 7th now, the Sonoya, Georgia veteran, Bubba Pollard in the 26 machine. He's been awfully quiet this afternoon, but not no more. He was working on the number 12 of Harrison Burton.
Top qualifier Jeff Cannon loses a spot, maybe another one. Here comes Winamac, Indiana driver J.J. Haley to the bottom of Jeff Cannon, back around the end of our top 10. And for 3rd now, a battle ensues.
Anderson Bowen to the inside now of Hunter Robbins as Justin South got away as he tries to challenge Nemechek. Meantime, Bowen, Robbins bumping and grinding out of turn number 4. Gives her a spot at 29 of Anderson Bowen. Garrett Jones trying to follow him through. Caution flag, big trouble here in the front stretch. Cody Evans and T.W. Fisher getting together. Caution flag out. Cody Evans, heavy damage to that number 4.
Rear end of that 4G car destroyed coming off of turn number 4. Evans, the driver from Camden, Ohio, started this race in the 16th position. Performance Transport L&T clutches forward. Driver 15 years of age. Saw a lot of him on the JEG CRA All-Stars Tour this past season. Going to see a lot more of him, I believe, in the future. But Cody Evans in car 4G, heavy damage to the rear end. Started to pull away, but he has a flat left rear tire and heavy damage. Most likely got the rear clip. The track crew assistance will be there with the tow truck, I'm sure, in moments, as he's going to try to drive away from the scene.
Welcome back to Zaxby SpeedFest 2014. Working on lap 95 of the scheduled 125 that make up the distance of the Chevrolet Performance 125 for the JEG CRA All-Stars Tour. Matt Preer with Adam Mackey as we close out the first of 2 events that make up the 10th annual Zaxby SpeedFest 2014. 1 lap to go, signal being given. John Hunter Nemechek is your leader in the 8. Justin South 2nd in the 51. Anderson Bowen 3rd in the 29. Hunter Robbins 4th in the 18. Garrett Jones riding 5th in the number 88.
29 laps to go in the 125 for the pro late models of the Zaxby SpeedFest 2014. The green is back in the air. Cars wide down into turn number 1. South giving it his all in that second groove, but it looks like Nemechek's going to hold him off again.
Anderson Bowen deciding the time is now to make his move. He'll look to challenge Justin South for the 2nd spot, but he's got Hunter Robbins on his outside. Trouble in turn number 4. Mark Day goes around. Dalton Grindle goes flying as well. They both continue to move forward. We're going to stay green this one, Adam.
Except Grindle stops on the edge of the raceway down in turn number 4 to bring us a caution. Yellow flag is out. Cars then stacking up in the bottom lane, all able to avoid any major damage. That mishap started when the 8 car of Day, the 00 car of Ponstein, got together in that 3rd corner.
The 00 Terry Seneca Jr. pulls onto pit road. Tough break for the Outlaw Super Late Models specialist making his JEG CRA All-Stars Tour debut. Does have some right front damage on the side of that 00. Tough break for the Wayland, Michigan driver.
But we're going to see the green this next time around. John Hunter Nemechek and Justin South were down to a final 25-lap shootout. Only green flag laps count from this point on in this event, as Nemechek and South will bring him in for Scotty Menlin's green flag.
Nemechek and South, row number 1 as they make their way through turns 3 and 4. Chief starter Scott Mellon has the green flag in hand, and once again we are back underway here at Watermelon Capital Speedway.
South went up the bank a little bit in turn 4, trying to adjust his lane to give him a better run down the front stretch. Didn't really work out. Nemechek strong again. Off the second turn, he leads. Anderson Bowen making a move. Bowen to the inside now, the 51 of South for 2nd.
Bowen taking a peek to the inside of South. Nothing doing for now, as South making that outside groove work. Here comes Garrett Jones in the number 88 machine. He'll try to work the outside of Anderson Bowen as they head into 3.
Saw a lot of fans pointing down towards 3 and 4 moments ago. It was because Mark Day in the number 8 got shuffled to the high lane, nearly went off the raceway, was able to save it. He and Terry Seneca Jr., the final 2 cars to run down to the back of the field, might be battling again soon for 3rd place. Bowen on the inside of Garrett Jones.
Up front, it is John Hunter Nemechek continuing to show the way in search of his first career win aboard a late model. He is 21 laps away from completing the task as Justin South is 2nd. Garrett Jones round the outside takes over the 3rd spot from Anderson Bowen.
And we've got caution. Yellow flag out off the track in 1 and 2. It's Dabbs. Zachary Dabbs in the 23 is spun off of the banking in turns 1 and 2. One of the drivers deep in our field, bringing out the caution. 104 laps complete. We go about 4 or 5 on the most recent restart before caution again waves. Yellow out. John Hunter Nemechek officially 103 complete. John Hunter Nemechek, Justin South will get the 1 to go signal this time. Zachary Dabbs in the 23, our most recent caution cause, is back on the track and joining the tail of the field. He follows Dalton Grindle in the 23 and Ashburn in the 98 car in that final row. 1 to go signal in the air. John Hunter Nemechek and Justin South up front. 22 laps from the finish of our first of 2 races today. The sun has gone away. Cloud cover coming into play here at Watermelon Capital Speedway. A lot of sunshine earlier, plenty of sunshine yesterday, even Friday, just cold conditions. The wind not nearly what it was the last couple of days, but not warm for southern racing, I guess.
Current temperature 62 degrees here in Cordele, Georgia. First time we've hit the 60s mark all weekend. As our folks back home up in Michigan and Ohio not so happy about that. But the green flag is back in the air. We're back underway, and John Hunter Nemechek leads the field in turn 1.
Nemechek, another great restart, trying to win this SpeedFest portion, the pro race. Here this afternoon, he's starting 6th in the second race today. Some 3 and 4 wide back in the field, but up front, Nemechek leads. Garrett Jones for second. The youngster goes to the low side of Justin South.
Garrett Jones, very impressive in his JEG CRA All-Stars Tour debut. The 2013 Five Flag Speedway Pro Late Model Track champion, trying to take the second spot from Justin South, this time by completing lap 105. Give those side by side, too close to call for the runner-up spot.
I think South got him by inches at the line. He hangs on to second, but maybe only for moments. Jones working forward, just about clearing South. Hunter Robbins still racing with Anderson Bowen for the 4 spot. Burton just out of the top 5 and 6. Spencer Davis 7th. Jeff Cannon's worked his way to 8th. He's running out of time though, and Corey Rubel's still fighting at the end of the top 10.
Garrett Jones has completed the pass of Justin South. Now he'll set his sights on the number 8 of John Hunter Nemechek, your leader since lap 29. Nemechek leads the field in turns 1 and 2. Garrett Jones now closing the gap in a hurry.
Garrett Jones to this point, I think, is we haven't had a lot of chances to see him at bigger events. He's making a great debut today here at SpeedFest. He's a little bit quicker than John Hunter Nemechek right now. 108 complete, and we've got trouble coming off of 4. Slagle goes around, needs to lock it up. She will stop it right before it gets into the wall. Slagle has spun, caution flag waves, 108 complete. And the SpeedFest 125 for the JEG CRA All-Stars Tour.
Tough break for Amber Slagle. Got back on the lead lap, courtesy of the free pass the last lap. And now the young lady making her late model debut here this weekend, coming up from the sportsman ranks up in the state of Michigan. She was the 2011 Sports Stock 4-cylinder track champion at Owasso Speedway up in Ovid, Michigan. 2012 Rookie of the Year at Dixie Motor Speedway in the sportsman class. Won a feature last year at Springport Motor Speedway, making her late model debut. Gaining seat time in an effort to make a run at the 2014 Howie Liddell Memorial Rookie of the Year title.
1 to go signal this time, next time to the green. 108 complete, just 17 laps to go in the pro late model portion of Zaxby SpeedFest. John Hunter Nemechek leads, Garrett Jones is second. Justin South is right now 3rd, Anderson Bowen 4th. I thought he had something for the leaders a little while ago, but then he kind of faded to the tail end of the top 5. Running 5th is Hunter Robbins, 6th, Harrison Burton. That young driver's coming a long way. Right now running in the 6th position, has picked up some spots in the race, and looking for a solid finish this afternoon.
We'll see what he has left with 17 laps remaining as John Hunter Nemechek, Garrett Jones lead him on turns 3 and 4. Cheese Hunter Scotty Millen, the green flag in hand. We're back underway. Nemechek leads him into turns 1 and 2. Justin South looking to the inside of Garrett Jones for second.
Inside has been the place to be on the restarts today as Nemechek does take over the number 1 spot once again, hangs on to it. Garrett Jones drops in line behind him in second. South sideways up the banking. Robbins looking to the inside. Anderson Bowen on the outside of Robbins in 4th.
And making a late charge, your Luke Yoder Construction fast qualifier Jeff Cannon has been hanging in the back of the top 10 for most of the race. Now look at him, he is P5. He gets by Anderson Bowen just barely at the line. Your fast qualifier Jeff Cannon now running fifth. He'll look to challenge Robbins and South in front of him.
Jeff Cannon, an Ileana Speedway specialist, 2010 Pro and Super champion. South nearly spun off the track down in turn 3. He's working it hard in the outside lane. What a run he had to get back around Cannon in turn 4 to hang on to fourth.
Chopped right in front of Jeff Cannon. I mean, South was all kind of sideways coming out of turn number 4. Now Cannon to the inside of Justin South coming out of turn 4 has a battle for the 4th spot. In the meantime, up front, John Hunter, Nemechek, and Garrett Jones have checked out.
And I think Nemechek has stepped it up a little bit. He's pulling away from Garrett Jones as a 5-car length advantage. They head into the 3rd corner. We look for our first battle. It's Harrison Burton and Spencer Davis as they race in 3 and 4.
113 laps completed, 12 laps to go. That time by John Hunter Nemechek is your leader. Garrett Jones second. Hunter Robbins is third. The battle is for fourth between the 51 of Justin South, the 33 of Jeff Cannon, 29 of Anderson Bowen right there as well.
South is currently wrestling that number 51 car. South on the outside, running the inside is Cannon. They're now wheel to wheel, heading down the back stretch for the number 4 position. Jeff Cannon up a spot.
10 laps to go, 10 laps to go for John Hunter Nemechek in the 8 machine. Garrett Jones second, give 4 spots to the 33 of Jeff Cannon. He may have started to make his move a little too late. Cannon with a lot of real estate to make up, beginning with a 3rd place driver, Hunter Robbins.
Yes, another race coming up today. Jeff Cannon running in both events. Bubba Pollard has dropped out of the top 10. He has not been strong in this 125 lap event. No threat at any point today. He's going to be racing in the 200 lap portion as well, but he's fallen nearly to the tail end of the lead lap cars. Bubba Pollard off the pace in the 26.
8 laps to go for the number 8, John Hunter Nemechek. He's been around late model racing now, working on his 3rd season, has yet to see victory lane. Could this be the time? We're going to find out in just a few minutes. 7 laps to go for the 16-year-old John Hunter Nemechek.
Nemechek's car wheeling it around this oval here in Cordele, Georgia, the Watermelon Capital Speedway. He has nearly a half straightaway lead over Garrett Jones. Back another half straightaway to the 18 of Robbins. Robbins has the 33 of Jeff Cannon closing quickly on him. Down to the final 6 laps of the event.
Nemechek will dive into turns 3 and 4. Garrett Jones losing ground in a hurry. He'll come out of turn number 4. He'll see a hand up. 5 laps to go for John Hunter Nemechek.
Spencer Davis, Justin South in a battle just out of the top 5. That would be for the 6th position as Bowen has moved into 5th. Spencer Davis moving into 6th. 7th now is Justin South as his car has really faded at the end. He's been wrestling it since the most recent restart. 121 laps on the board.
Hunter Robbins, Jeff Cannon are 3rd and 4th. Anderson Bowen solidly in 5th now. Justin South, as mentioned, falling back. Spencer Davis now 6th. South 7th. Harrison Burton falling back to 8th. J.J. Haley making his first appearance in the top 10. He is up to 9th. Corey Rubel rounding up the top 10. Davey Coble all kinds of sideways coming out of 4.
J.J. Haley, I think, having a very solid run, gaining some good seat time today in a battle right down with Harrison Burton in the 12, and the 2 to go signal is in the air. 2 final laps to go for the Wood Pellet Grills, number 88.
John Hunter Nemechek makes his way down the backstretch. He'll go into turns 3 and 4. Garrett Jones out of time, too much real estate to make up. The white flag comes out, 1 lap to go.
Nemechek takes the car down into turn number 1. Plenty of distance between himself. We've got a spin in turns 3 and 4. It will bring out a caution. Yellow flag does wave. The 12 of Burton has spun in 3 and 4. Caution flag out for Harrison Burton in 3 and 4. Usually when the white flag waves, they race back to the line. That one was pretty early on the white flag lap, so the caution does come. And it's going to give us a shootout, Matt.
Yes, it will. A tough break for Harrison Burton in the number 12 machine. Flirted with the top 5 for most of the afternoon. Spins coming out of turn number 4. Tough break for the 13-year-old from Huntersville, North Carolina. So it's Nemechek and Jones, row number 1. Robbins and Cannon, row number 2. Anderson Bowen, Spencer Davis, row number 3. Justin South, J.J. Haley, row number 4. Corey Rubel, Dwayne Begay, row number 5. That is your top 10. Nemechek and Jones will lead them into turns 3 and 4. And we'll be ready for the restart.
Race fans, who's going to do it? Will it be Nemechek? Will it be Jones? Robbins? Cannon? Green flag, turn number 4. Nemechek comes across the stripe with a half-car length advantage. field heading into 1. Nemechek looking good off of 2. Robbins coming with him.
Robbins to the inside of Garrett Jones. That is for the 2nd spot. Anderson Bowen to the inside of Jeff Cannon. That is for the 4th spot. White flag is out. 1 lap to go for John Hunter Nemechek.
Look out on the front stretch. Around goes Bowen. Goes up, slams the outside retaining wall. Rouse turned around, backs into him. The 14 car of Coble involved. Garrett Jones involved. Trouble. Red flag as the track is blocked down in turn number 1. Caution and now red in this pro late model race. Garrett Jones and some contact there. I think Robbins went up the banking, and you had a good look at it as well. I think Robbins went up the banking. Jones checked up, came back down the banking. The field's going to stop on the front stretch, and all heck broke loose. Nowhere to go for drivers like Anderson Bowen. I think he got hit in the right rear.
Bowen up against the turn 1 wall. Garrett Jones on the inside of the turn 1 wall, ending great runs for a couple of those 2 teenagers. Cole Rouse also involved in the number 20 machine. He tried to spin to avoid. Also the 24, Christopher Tullis, has spun. He has damage in turn number 1. Red flag is out. My goodness, Adam, a heck of a way to try to finish this event, as John Hunter Nemechek's going to potentially have to wait just a little bit longer for that first taste of victory.
.123 complete, 2 to go. John Hunter Nemechek, Hunter Robbins. Row number 1, Jeff Cannon. Spencer Davis has worked his way to 4th. Justin South, fighting an ill-handling car over the last stages of this race today, has worked his way back into 5th because of attrition. And the 99 of J.J. Haley is 6th. Green flag ready to wave in turn 4.
Scotty Minlin has that green flag in hand. John Hunter Nemechek, a great restart as he takes the green flag. Hunter Robbins trying to the inside. Oh, contact between Robbins and Cannon. Robbins goes high over the embankment in turn number 1. Caution flag one more time.
Obviously, the spotter didn't let Hunter Robbins know that Jeff Cannon was on the inside of him heading into the first turn, or Hunter Robbins was just trying to protect that position. Cannon was nearly up to the door by the time that Robbins came down into that lower lane.
It was unreal there, and an innocent bystander once again. Amber Slagle in the number 24, wrong place at the wrong time for the 3rd time in this event. Mark Day also involved in the number 8. Hunter Robbins is able to continue in the 18. Zachary Dabbs, front end damage to the 23 machine now. And you're right, Adam. My goodness. I mean, Jeff
and we
Cannon,
knew that Cannon was good on the inside lane. I had a feeling he would be coming on the bottom, and he dove to the inside on the front stretch. They went into that first turn, and we could see it, and you started to cringe because you knew that Robbins was coming down. It was look out, and he got the contact, and up over the embankment he went. Again, not major damage to those cars, but Slagle, bystander, gets damage to the front. She's had a lot of accidents in front of her that she's been able to avoid today. This one, not so much.
So we'll see what happens here. We'll try it a 3rd time. John Hunter Nemechek takes the inside as expected. Spencer Davis now on his outside. He won the Pro Late Model feature last weekend down at New Smyrna Speedway as part of the Pete Orr Memorial. As Nemechek and Davis lead him on a 4. Green flag once again. We're back underway.
Nemechek with a good restart again. Watching as the cars go down into the first corner, I was watching Ashburn and Robbins, the cars shuffling. And oh, there goes Spencer Davis going off into the grass. Davis keeps on rolling. Back onto the banking he goes. And around goes Robbins. Hunter Robbins spins in the 18 car. White flag is waving, but it's going to be another caution. Hunter Robbins and Jeff Cannon have both gone around. It was a mishap that took place in front of him that caused it. The 23 of Zachary Dabbs with damage to the front end of his race car. Unbelievable, as most of the action was happening mid-packer. So we saw Spencer Davis up in our top 2 or 3 spots go off of the back straightaway. He was able to keep it right and get back onto the track. He lost a number of spots, but kicked a lot of dirt up in the process.
Then Cannon and Robbins get together in turns 3 and 4. Perhaps a continuation from their scuffle there in turn 1 from the last caution.
Robbins actually got together with another competitor, maybe Mark Day. He spun around, then collected Cannon. Cannon came in afterwards. Nemechek and Davis coming to green off of the 4th corner, looking good throughout our field. Nemechek gets out front into the lead. Davis stays in the outside groove. Haley looking to the bottom, 3 wide. Harrison Burton goes 3 wide. Look out, Day goes around, coming off the corner, off the raceway, goes the 00 of the Ponstein Racing Team. White flag is waving this time. Day is along the bottom lane. The white flag is out now. Yellow does wave, and all just at the wrong time as the 8 car of Day was able to pull away. All drivers pull away from the scene. Look at Davey Coble come shooting through the field. Coble says, you know what? I'm going to cross the stripe first this time by, even though it doesn't count.
And the 14 of Davey Coble will receive the black flag from CRA officials for not adhering to the yellow flag. Coble has, my goodness, he had a heck of a run going at a kind of a slow start, steadily worked his way through the field, and the yellow flag came out, but Coble
came
just
out
kept,
as they were coming down the front stretch into the first corner.
and he just kept right on going. We will be coming to a checkered one way or the other in 2 short laps.
Tullis is actually several laps down. He's shown right now in 18th position. Actually just, I don't know, Tullis. 123 looking down through. Tullis, I believe, is on the lead lap, so that would put him in the 8th position. So
there's been a variety of free passes that have been given out here.
A lot.
And Tullis started scratch, 31st in the field. He's up to 8th in the number 24 machine in his late model debut. As Nemechek and Davis lead him on a 4. Chief starter Scotty Minlin, the green flag in hand, and here we go.
Nemechek and Davis head into the first corner. Our final try to restart to get to the finish in this one. Clean and green off of turn number 2. Nemechek leads the way. Davis in second. Battle for third. J.J. Haley and Corey Rubel.
White flag is out. 1 lap to go for John Hunter Nemechek. He'll lead him in turns 1, 2. With about a car length between him and Spencer Davis. They go down the backstretch.
Nemechek heading into turn number 3, heading towards his first big late model win. It comes in the pro late model portion of SpeedFest by Zaxby's John Hunter Nemechek to victory. Second, Spencer Davis. Corey Rubel third, finishing 4th. J.J. Haley, 5th spot to Dwayne Begay. 6th to the number 12 of Harrison Burton. 7th, the 18 of Hunter Robbins. 8th place, the 33 of Jeff Cannon. The 00 of Seneker coming across the line in 9th, finishing 10th. Christopher Tullis. 11th, Cole Rouse. 12th in the rundown, Garrett Jones. 13th, Anderson Bowen. Some of these drivers were off the raceway at the end of the event. Told them it was going to be their final chance of the restart, and coincidentally, they make it to the finish. Final 2 laps completed, and John Hunter Nemechek finds his way into victory lane here at Watermelon Capital Speedway. Matt Preer heading down to the racetrack to get a word with him in moments. Being an elated driver, but he's got more on his mind. Another race coming up soon for Nemechek, as he'll be competing in our second race today, as will the 129 of Davis. Matt, take it away.
Thank you very much, Adam. It's been a long time coming for this young man, 16 years old, out of Mooresville, North Carolina. The son of NASCAR Sprint Cup Series driver Joe Nemechek. Been running late models for a little over 2 seasons now. Been ever so close the last couple years. And now finally, in the JEG CRA All-Stars Tour portion, he puts it on. Big hand for John Hunter Nemechek. Congratulations all around from the crew, from Dad Joe. John Hunter, I tell you what, it's been a long time coming, my friend, and perhaps those last few cautions, you had been sitting there in the driver's seat going, man, is this going to end?
Yeah, it felt like it was never going to end. I can't say thank you enough to all the guys that work on this thing. This thing was a rocket ship today. Get well, Mr. Ron. He's not doing right now. I can't thank our sponsors, Wood Pellet Grills, DAB Constructors, McDonald's, SWM Gunrunner, everybody that helps out on this thing. It's amazing, and I'm blessed.
Definitely, without a doubt, John Hunter now taking the lead from Hunter Robbins there about lap 29. It was a great battle, and Hunter Robbins is definitely no slouch.
Yeah, it was definitely a good battle. He pushed me hard, and everyone that got up there the last few laps pushed hard, and I don't know, we held him off.
Great job. Congratulations. First win in a late model for 16-year-old John Hunter Nemechek. Reagan Ellis, your front row. Casey Smith inside of row number 2 alongside Chase Elliott in the number 9 machine. Daniel Hemrick, 2013 Southern Super Series champion inside of row number 3. Alongside him won his first ever victory in a late model about 20 minutes ago. John Hunter Nemechek will now go for the sweep here. He's got 200 laps to get it done.
2 to go signal being given. Next time around, it'll be 1 to go for the Zaxby SpeedFest 200 from Watermelon Capital Speedway here on Speed 51 Radio, presented by Jags. Matt Prier, I'm Adam Mackey, and Trackside Now coverage continues on our website as well. You can check that out for pictures and further details on some of the things that are going on down in the pits here today. One of the things going on pit road right now is the work on the Spencer Davis machine as they hope for the best, trying to get that car fixed and get it back out on the track before the start. 1 to go signal. Next time, Matt, we're going green.
Yes, indeed. Chief starter Scotty Minlin gives him that 1 lap to go signal. Green flag the next time by. A 10-minute break will occur at lap 100. Caution flag laps will count up to lap 175. It's now in the hands of NASCAR Sprint Cup Series driver David Reagan, who starts P1 alongside fellow Georgian Scotty Ellis. They bring the field down the backstretch.
CRA pace truck is dropped off into the infield via the backstretch. David Reagan, Scotty Ellis picking up the pace over towards turn number 4. The green flag is in the air. We're underway. Reagan with a good start. And the SpeedFest 200 brought to you by Zaxby's is underway. Some brake checking midfield. Everyone able to keep it in the right direction. Clay Rogers nearly spun into turn 1, but clean and green as they head to 3.
Coming out of turn number 4, leader of lap 1, the 77 of David Reagan. Battle for second. Oh, Casey Smith off the pace of the 99 machine. Everyone trying to get by to avoid the very slow Casey Smith in the 99. Oh, something to miss with Casey Smith. Everyone taking evasive action to get by Smith.
Oh, Brandon Jones and John West Townley were going side by side as they tried to go underneath him. I don't know how they made it through. Heads up job by all of the spotters to work him around that slow car. Smith was right in the middle of the field as he headed back, and somehow, some way, we stay under green. Great job of driving by all the competitors.
Quickly up to 3 laps completed as Chase Elliott has worked his way up to the second spot. He gets by Scotty Ellis. Now he'll challenge David Reagan for that top spot. Reagan and Elliott lead the field on the turn 4.
Was a scary moment, and now trouble down in turn 3. Kyle Bryant slides off the track. He's in a spin cycle, heading towards the creek, but able to get it stopped in time before going down into the wet stuff. We've completed 4 of our scheduled 200. Caution number 1, it's Kyle Bryant, the Navarre, Florida driver in the 79, a spin off of the back straightaway in the 3rd turn into the dirt. And caution is out for a first time. We had some close calls, some scary moments, the scariest of which, one of our top 5 starters, 3rd place starter Casey Smith, whose car dropped off the pace right in front of most of the field, and somehow they went inside, they went outside, they were 2 wide, 3 wide as they got able to get around them and stay under green. The closest call came with the number 5 of Johnny Sauter. He rubbed some paint. Doesn't look like it hurt the Sauter car. He was still running strong when the yellow came out.
As we continue on with our live radio broadcast as well as Speed51.com's Trackside Now coverage throughout the remainder of this event.
You know, the fast fingers of Tim Quiver, and I think they probably brought him up here because the laps didn't go all that fast at the end of the first race today, so they thought if they got his quick fingers up here, we'd be able to get the race done quicker.
That's entirely possible. Timmy Quivering can type 6,315 words a minute. That's how good he is on the Trackside Now keyboard.
He's impressive. 8 laps complete. 192 to go. Got the first 4 laps in before our first caution. David Reagan, Chase Elliott up front. And Chase Elliott already making a statement, picking up a couple of positions on the opening start. And now we'll have a chance to get around the 77 of David Reagan. The pace truck has dropped to the infield and ready for green. Lap 9 will be complete at the line. Steering hose on the 129. Power steering hose on the 129 of Spencer Davis, the reason for him falling out.
David Reagan, they are side by side. They come on to turn number 2. Elliott trying to make the outside work, but David Reagan hanging tough on the inside as they come out of turn 4.
Side by side, they race. Good run off of the 4th corner. He got on the throttle a little bit sooner than David Reagan did. Chase Elliott. Elliott smooth for 1 and 2. The Dawsonville, Georgia driver takes over the number 1 position. Reagan bonsais it down in turn 3, pulls back up to the door of Elliott. Racing for the number 1 spot, 11 laps in.
Elliott leader, David Reagan second, 77 John Nemechek up the 3rd now. The number 8 machine, Johnny Sauter, your VDL Fuel Systems fast qualifier. has already worked his way up to fourth. He'll challenge Nemechek for third.
Johnny Sauter has been so good all weekend long. He's been fast here in the past, including last year. He got involved in the mishap and took him out of the running. Hasn't finished the SpeedFest race. If he finishes today, he could very well finish in the #1 spot.
Back in the field, Scotty Ellis, your outside pole setter, is running in the 5th spot. 2013 Summit Super Series champion. Daniel Hemrick between TJ Reed, the 41, Kyle Grissom, the 31, Austin Terrio, the 57.
Single file formation for the top 6 positions, and after that, a gaggle of cars. Through turns 3 and 4, Preston Peltier leading that battle. 31 of Grissom having to do some runs so far. TJ Reed in the 41 to the outside of him in 1 and 2.
Behind him is Austin Terrio in the 57 and 26. Of Bubba Pollard is right there as well. Distantly back is Russell Fleetman in the 498. Behind him, battle between the 74 and the 36 just getting trouble in turn number 4.
In turns 3 and 4, Kyle Bryant in the 79. The number 5 of Spencer Waters tangled up along the inside retaining wall. Minor damage to those cars. Bryant able to pull away before the lead drivers get to him in turn 4. Waters, though, still stopped in the 4th corner. Most likely will be going down a first lap in this race. We've completed 16 of our scheduled 200. Chase Elliott leads the way. His car looks very good. Wasn't here on Friday to practice. A late entry into the show this weekend. So far, it looks to be a good decision. He wasn't among the fastest of cars yesterday in practice or qualifying necessarily. Did pick it up for the qualifying run. John Hunter Nemechek already picking up a couple of spots at the start of this race. He's up to 3rd now, started this race in 6th. Nemechek 2nd fast in qualifying for the super portion of SpeedFest 2014. And now I think he'll have the opportunity to follow Chase Elliott out front. Chase will likely have the better start with Reagan in that 2nd groove. Elliott looks to be very fast, and I think John Hunter Nemechek is as well.
Lights off on the pace truck. Chase Elliott on the inside. David Reagan on the high side. Expect to hear those 2 names mesh together a lot more in the future up in the NASCAR ranks as Elliott and Reagan lead them on turn 3 and 4. Chief starter Scotty Millen's got the green flag in hand. We're back underway here with Zaxby SpeedFest 200.
Well, Elliott gave it a strong run coming off of 4. Grabbed a gear, goes down into the corner, pulls out front. Here comes John Hunter Nemechek going into that number 2 spot. Johnny Sauter gets the opportunity to drop to the bottom. He's going to try to follow Nemechek into 3rd. Nemechek racing right now with Reagan for 2nd. Trouble in 3 and 4. Brandon Jones and Donnie Wilson have gone around along the inside retaining wall. They'll bring out a caution, much like the yellow we saw moments ago. Very severe, very minor damage to those cars. And really winding them up, trying to get them up the banking before the leaders get there. Wilson unable to pull away. Jones gets his car moving away from the scene. Just some minor damage to the front end of that car. Wilson still parked along the inside retaining wall.
Up to 21 laps completed, 79 laps to go until the break, 179 overall. Once again, first 175 laps, caution flag laps will count. The last 25 laps will be run under green flag conditions. Reagan to the inside, that moves Johnny Sauter to inside of row number 2, Scotty Ellis outside of row number 2, and currently running 5th. Inside of row number 3 is Daniel Hemrick.
So an interesting move by Elliott. We'll see if it pays off. We'll see if it does what I think it was intended to do. Chase Elliott in the outside lane, coming to green off of turn number 4. Good restart for Elliott. Has a half car advantage down the line through 1 and 2. Chase Elliott off the 2nd corner, rockets back out front. Reagan in 2nd. Running 3rd is Johnny Sauter. Now, Elliott leaves the door open on the bottom of 3. It allows Reagan to pull back alongside, but Elliott clears him on the front straightaway, and Chase Elliott is back out front at the conclusion of lap 29.
And he puts David Reagan in between himself and Johnny Sauter. Reagan in 2nd spot. Sauter right on the back bumper of David Reagan as they come out of turn number 4. Completing lap number 30. That's on 5.
I would almost guarantee that was a strategy that went behind that, and that is great strategy because he's strong enough against Reagan to do it on the inside or the outside, so why not put a car in between yourself and Sauter, who's probably the best car or at least 2nd best car in the field right now.
Battle for 4th, the 83 of Scotty Ellis, and a good run for the 31 of Kyle Grissom. Grissom started 13th. He is in the top 5 for the first time this afternoon.
Oh, big time crash down in the corner. Around goes the two of Rogers. He hits the end of the wall, and fortunately that wall has been slanted so that it's not an abrupt impact like it used to be. The end of the pit wall, which was protected by a tire, goes high into the air. It goes up further in 3 and 4. Clay Rogers' car is demolished down in turns 3 and 4. We've got caution and now red, 32 laps complete, and a big time mishap. Clay Rogers hard into the end of the wall.
That was some heavy contact by Clay Rogers in the number 2 machine. That car is destroyed. My goodness, as track and safety crew right on the scene. John Hunter Nemechek did make it back out onto the racetrack, has since come down pit road.
He's got some pretty heavy damage to the front of his car.
He is pitted, Nemechek is pitted, as well as a 58 of John Kaufman.
See if Sauter pounces on that inside lane, tries to move up into second. If Reagan gets caught in the high groove, green flag waving, coming off of 4. We are back underway. It is Elliott ahead of Reagan. Here comes John Sauter looking for the second spot. Grissom and Ellis a little bit of contact for 4th. Fleeman caught in the outside lane. Inside is Daniel Hemrick, but for the second position, Johnny Sauter, David Reagan side by side.
Reagan with the advantage, 4 down. He's in the second spot. Johnny Sauter double back to the inside. Kyle Grissom has worked his way up to the 4th spot in the number 31 machine. Grissom trying to get away from Scotty Ellis, who has a driver's side full of Daniel Hemrick as Hemrick moves to the inside.
Sauter has dropped in line behind David Reagan, so he's still in the number 3 spot. Was very quick on the first couple of laps, but right now his car looks a little sluggish. Middle of turns 1 and 2, coming off the second corner. Through 3 and 4 looks good, but coming off the corner he loses a little bit of ground, so I'm not sure that Johnny Sauter's car is as good as he wants it to be right now.
A small shower of spars coming from underneath the number 5 of Johnny Sauter that time, going into turn number 1. And you're right, he's losing some ground. 2-year leaders, Chase Elliott the 9, David Reagan the 77.
Single file formation the first 5 with Scotty Ellis and TJ Reed for the 6th spot, and TJ Reed has moved into the number 6 position. He started this race in 10th.
Up front, Chase Elliott, your leader. David Reagan not letting him stray too far out in front as the 2 Heat Space drivers are 1 and 2. The seat of Wisconsin, Johnny Sauter losing ground in a hurry, which allows Kyle Grissom, a good run for him, to close the gap on Sauter.
Daniel Hemrick pulling the old Mark Martin, letting TJ Reed go by down in turns 3 and 4. You saw him look to the inside, and Hemrick lets him go. TJ Reed looks to be very fast, maybe one of the fastest cars on the raceway early on at the SpeedFest 200.
And Reed will try to reel in the 31 of Kyle Grissom, who is reeling in Johnny Sauter for that 3rd spot. Up front, Chase Elliott continues to show the way. 39 laps completed. 61 to go to the halfway break. 161 to go overall.
Chase Elliott, the class of the field, of David Reagan running pretty well in the 2nd spot. See some dirt get kicked up on the backstretch. I think it came from the Anderson Bowen, number 29. Bowen had a pretty good run in the top 5 in the first race today, and then get caught up in a late race wreck down to that first corner, damaging his car badly. This one here just trying to pick up some spots early on.
Back in the field, TJ Reed is 5th, as mentioned. Daniel Hemrick is 6th. Scotty Ellis is 7th. Hunter Robbins has worked his way up to 8th. Russell Fleeman shoveled back to 9th. Austin Terrio shoveled back to 10th into 57. Small battle about to brew for 11th to 74. Preston Peltier to 33 is Jeff Cannon.
Cannon runs in the 12th position. Bubba Pollard 13th. 14th Lee Pickett, 15th Anderson Bowen, and it heats up between Austin Terrio and Russell Fleeman inside our top 10.
Up front, Chase Elliott has opened up a bit of a gap on now the number 77 of David Reagan, who has a bunch of car length on the number 5 of Johnny Sauter. As whatever was ailing Sauter earlier on has seemed to have gone away, as he's slowly catching David Reagan and while pulling away from the 31 of Kyle Grissom.
Interesting to keep our eyes on that to see if he does actually close on David Reagan, or if Reagan is falling back into his grasp, because those top 2 have a pretty good sizable lead build up, over half a straightaway on Johnny Sauter.
Kyle Grissom 4th, TJ Reed, you mentioned one of the fastest cars on the racetrack, quickly closing the gap on the 31 of Kyle Grissom. 2012 past South Series champion, making his ARCA CRA Super Series debut, and looking good so far. He's running in 4th.
Talking earlier this weekend with Elgin Trailer, Mr. Statboy with Speed 51, who's busy walking around. Have a lead on trackside now, covering down from the pit, keeping everyone updated on their computers. Now, Elgin said, you know, there's one place that Chase hasn't really been successful, hasn't really won, and there's not very many of those. Anywhere he goes, he leads the first time. He's very good. It's New Smyrna Speedway. He's gone there. He's been fast in practice, been fast in qualifying, but in the events we've seen him run maybe 7 or 8 appearances there. He's not been able to find victory lane, so it's the one place that's eluded him a little bit.
A little bit, that's for sure, as Chase Elliott goes by a slow Dwayne Begay, the 45 machine. Smoke coming from the back end. Caution flag is going to come out. Heavy puffs of smoke coming from the 45 of Dwayne Begay as the leaders went by. Tough break for the Canton, Georgia driver, Dwayne Begay.
Dwayne Begay stops at the top of the banking. He's fortunately been pretty much off of the main racing surface where he does come to a stop. I think he was going to drop right back down across. I was most likely told by track officials over the radio not to come across the racing lanes because I believe he is putting out some liquid. You can see a little bit of a trail heading along the outside of the raceway surface down the back straightaway into the third turn where he comes to a rest.
Pace lights, the lights are off on the ARCA CRA Super Series powered by Jags Pace truck. He'll pull into the infield. It's in the hands of Chase Elliott in the number 9, utilizing that inside lane, forcing David Reagan to the outside as they move into turns 3 and 4 on the restart.
Elliott low, Reagan high, coming off of turn number 4. Green flag is out as they cross the line. A revolution number 50, your leader, Chase Elliott through 1 and 2. In the high lane, Reagan slips up. Here comes Sauter to the bottom. Grissom's going to be able to get to the low lane in the number 4 spot, close to the door on TJ Reed. Reagan might be able to hold off and will try. Reagan goes back to the bottom. Single file formation through the top 6.
TJ Reed looking for a way around the 31 of Kyle Grissom. Daniel Hemrick lurking right there as well, the 98. Right behind him, a good battle for that 7th spot. The 18 of Hunter Robinson, the 7 of Austin Terrio.
Robinson slides into low lane, and he's going to pick up a spot. Austin Terrio follows him. Daniel Hemrick, maybe not the car he wants at this point, but he'd be saving some as well. The 2013 Southern Super Series champion, Daniel Hemrick, sliding back a little bit as Austin Terrio, Scotty Ellis, Russell Flumen all close quickly.
That time by was lap 63, working on lap 64. This time by, top 3 running nose to tail. The 9 of Chase Elliott, the 77 of David Reagan, the 5 of Johnny Sauter. Kyle Grissom right there as well. And TJ Reed looks to recoup and re-challenge the 31 of Grissom.
Preston Peltier side by side with Russell Fleeman back in the pack just out of the top 10. Peltier on the inside of Russell Fleeman. Bubba Pollard looking low, maybe 3 wide here soon.
Hunter Robbins, telltale signs of smoke coming from the 18 machine. Austin Terrio is backed way up, and now Terrio, caution flag comes out. Robbins, heavy smoke from the 18 machine. Terrio, Hemrick, and a couple of other drivers behind him slowed way down as Robbins starts smoking in that number 18.
Looking for any trails of liquid on the front stretch. I do not see any. That's a good sign. Maybe just some oil, something hitting the headers, causing the smoke on the number 18 of Hunter Robbins. He hits pit road. Robbins started this race 18th and was running in 6th. David Reagan on the outside in row number 2 of Johnny Sauter and Kyle Grissom. Of course, Kyle Grissom, the son of Steve Grissom, former NASCAR Nationwide Series, Busch Series back then. Cam Painter was always a front runner in that series. And Kyle running there in the 4th position. Now, he won a past series championship in the past, just a year or 2 ago, but we haven't really seen him a whole lot. And when we have, he's not been one of the front runners. Today, he's brought his A game.
Without a doubt, he's right there with the last names of Elliott, Reagan, and Sauter as Chief Starter Scotty Bentley gives him the green flag. We're back on the way, working lap 75.
Johnny Sauter with all kinds of free, and turn number 4 was sliding up, and we've got trouble. Dalton Grindle, Brandon Jones, Spencer Waters, Kyle Bryan able to get through. We've got caution in turn number 1 as Dalton Grindle in the 23 and Brandon Jones in the 33, I believe, were the first 2 that got together heading down the front straightaway. So yellow flag out. 76 laps complete. Just been one of those days, Matt.
Oh, I tell you, another caution flag, the 7th of this event, as everyone seems has pulled away except for Dalton Grindle, who's backing out off the inside front stretch wall, and he will pull away now, the number 23.
All able to get moving again. Chase Elliott and the field did go around him as they were stopped. Spencer Waters got moving. Brandon Jones got moving before the field came upon them. No major damage there. The track officials of CRA actually down in turn number 1. I'm sure they looked at the track. It looks to be okay from where we stand. And of course the track crews are very close up on the outside lane there. So as soon as they get all the drivers back in their formation, we'll be able to restart them again. Dalton Grindle in his 23 car with some pretty severe damage to the front. He pulls away from the scene, but I think he's going to make that hard left turn in behind a pit wall. We'll say on the last restart, Johnny Sauter had his hands full. That number 5 car slid sideways, coming all the way through turn 4, nearly to the finish line as he worked the wheel. It got really free on him on the exit of turn 4, so we'll see if it does it again. Johnny Sauter running 3rd, the VDL Fuel Systems fast qualifier for the weekend, and Sauter restarting 3rd, but maybe not liking the handle of that car so far. We'll see what kind of changes they make. The halfway break, which is just 20 laps away this time at the line. At lap 100, we'll take a break and let them work on the cars, change some tires, get some fuel. The green flag is out. Elliott a little bobble when he hits the gas. He does lead in the line. Time to 77 of David Reagan. And on the inside, taking a look low, is Johnny Sauter.
Behind them, Austin Theriault around the outside of TJ Reed, comes down in front of Reed to take over that 5th spot. Theriault now in the top 5. He'll set his sights on the 31 of Kyle Grissom, who's in the back bumper of the 5 of Johnny Sauter.
Austin Theriault saw he had Chris Gabehart, the longtime late model manager for Kyle Busch, and now up in the major ranks of NASCAR. But Chris Gabehart here helping Lynch on the Theriault machine. It's now up into the top 5, and I think Austin Theriault, this could be that breakthrough win he's looking for. He's up in the top 5 and running strong right now. We've got 17 laps at the line until the halfway break.
Chase Elliott continues to lead with 9. David Reagan riding 7, 277. Johnny Sauter is all over David Reagan for that 2nd spot as Sauter runs 3rd. Sauter takes a peek to the inside going into turn number 3.
Sauter challenging David Reagan for the number 2 position. His car slides back up the banking, back to the line behind the Reagan machine. Couple of the drivers from the NASCAR ranks. Reagan with a Sprint Cup Series. Sauter with the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, and they battle down in turn number 3, side by side. Reagan way up the banking, comes off of 4.
And as those two battle, Chase Elliott slowly but surely pulls away the number 9 machine. The 18-year-old from Dawsonville, Georgia, looking for another SpeedFest win. The only previous winner of a super late model SpeedFest in the field here today.
Wasn't much of a chance to see a repeat winner, but if one guy can do it, it would be a driver like Chase Elliott, who has 1 SpeedFest Super victory, 3 SpeedFest Pro victories. And right now he's putting several car links on David Reagan, but a challenge is there nearly to the rear bumper. Johnny Sauter. Looks like go time is now for Sauter. He'd like to be at least in that 2nd spot at the halfway break to give him a chance to start a little bit further towards the front, depending on what changes tire-wise everybody makes. And Sauter challenging hard with Reagan.
Behind the Reagan-Sauter battle, Kyle Grissom and Austin Theriault. Oh, back up front, Johnny Sauter hit by David Reagan. Reagan almost stopped there coming out turn number 4.
Made a great move is what he did. He said, why do I take a chance of being punted right now when I can move over and let him by? And that's what he did.
Very good move, and Johnny Sauter now up in the 2nd spot. He'll try to reel in the number 9 of Chase Elliott with 11 laps to go until the break.
Johnny Sauter was pressuring David Reagan for a couple of laps. It looked to the inside a couple of times, and in fact got really close to him on the previous lap. And I think David Reagan looked up in the mirror and said, 1 position doesn't mean a whole lot right now. It means a lot more than falling back 20 spots before the break if I happen to get involved in the mishap. Let's Johnny Sauter go. Sauter is pulling away from Reagan, and Reagan in his rearview mirror has the 31 of Grissom and the 57 of Theriault, and Theriault is challenging Grissom.
Scotty Ellis has rebounded to number 83. He's shoveled all the way back to about 11. He's worked his way back to 6. He just got by the 41 of TJ Reed, who is now in the 7th spot. Preston Peltier is 8th. Jeff Cannon in the top 10. He's in 9th. And lurking the top 10 for the first time this afternoon, the 26 of Bubba Pollard.
Identical laps the last time across the line for Chase Elliott and Johnny Sauter, both turning to 16.316. The previous lap, Sauter was a 10th quicker. This time by the complete lap 93, and at the line, 3:05 for Elliott and a 3:90 for Sauter. They're turning pretty equal lap times in the front of the field right now.
This time by, they'll be working lap 94. 94 laps completed. This time by, 6 laps to go until the break. Chase Elliott continues to show the way in the number 9 machine. Johnny Sauter riding second. David Reagan is third. Kyle Grissom is fourth. Austin Terrio rounding the top 5.
Running in 6th is Scotty Ellis, 7th TJ Reed, 8th Preston Peltier, 9th to 33 of Cannon, and 10th to 26 of Bubba Pollard.
Behind Pollard is the 98 of Daniel Hemrick, who's another lead Tissity, 12. Russell Fleeman, Anderson Bowen, John West Townley, your top 15. As this time by, 4 laps to go until the break.
Watching a little bit of smoke come out of the Brandon Jones 33 machine. I think it was the damage, maybe a tire rub on that car. Chase Elliott working it kind of in cruise control right now as he's lapped John Kaufman. Next on the list would be Brandon Jones. Jones might be able to stay out in front of him, stay on the lead lap. 3 laps until the halfway break.
Sauter by himself in second spot. David Reagan is third, but Grissom and Terrio reeling him in. Now Terrio is going to take a peek on the inside of the 31 of Kyle Grissom. As they come out of turn 4, Terrio right up almost to his driver's door with 2 to go to the break.
Austin Terrio has a very good car right now, 1660 that lap, and Elliott just about 7/1000 quicker, so they're very close in proximity in the running order on the lap times. White flag is waving. Final lap of this first half of the race for Chase Elliott.
Elliott makes his way down the backstretch, about a half a straightaway lead on Johnny Sauter. He'll come out of turn 4, take the checkered flag to complete the first half of Zaxby SpeedFest 200. Chase Elliott will lead the field onto pit road as the leader.
Pretty good green flag run at the end of that 100, and that's big for a lot of these drivers. It gives them a chance to really feel what their car is going to do on a decent-sized run, and really one of the first decent-sized green flags runs we've had during the SpeedFest 200 today, brought to you by Zaxby's.
So Chief Star Scotty Menlin going to give him the 1 lap to go signal. We're going green the next time by. The second half of Zaxby's SpeedFest 200 for the ARCA CRA Super Series powered by Jegs is about to begin.
Scotty Ellis finished 12th in last year's SpeedFest, looking for a big breakthrough finish in this event here today, and he's on the inside of Bubba Pollard. Pace truck has dropped to the infield. 100 complete, 100 to go. And Zaxby SpeedFest 2014, and they race to Scotty Menlin's green flag.
Ellis and Pollard out of turn 4. Green flag is out. We are back underway. We'll start the second half. And Bubba Pollard shoots around the outside, the number 26, but no, Scotty Ellis with a great run off of turn number 2. Maintains the lead, but he's got a back bumper full of Chase Elliott going into 3 and 4.
Leading green through 3 and 4, coming across the line to complete 101. It is Bubba Pollard leading the way. He's able to clear Scotty Ellis for the time being. Drops down into the bottom lane. Ellis holding on to second. Chase Elliott, Johnny Sauter side by side for third. Sauter a little bit of a bobble coming off of turn number 2. Nonetheless, keeps it in the right direction and starts to challenge Ellis right on the rear bumper coming off the 4.
Bubba Pollard, your leader. Johnny Sauter looking to the outside of Scotty Ellis. Ellis trying to shut the door. Coming out of turn number 2, nothing doing. Sauter's right there. Sauter round the outside of Scotty Ellis. Coming out of turn 4, he'll take over the second spot.
Oh, Chase Elliott sees an opening on the bottom of Scotty Ellis. He's caught in the middle, 3 wide. Ellis just gives Chase enough room, just gives Peltier enough room. And Peltier moves into the number 3 position. Here comes Elliott into 4th.
And Austin Terrio also trying to follow Elliott by the number 83 of Scotty Ellis. In the meantime, up front, Johnny Sauter is all over Bubba Pollard for that lead. As Pollard to the high side, Sauter taking a peek to the inside, going into turn 3.
Sauter side by side now with Bubba Pollard, middle of 3 and 4. Pollard gets a good run, and then outside lane off the corner. Sauter chases it all the way up the bank. He nearly made contact, slid in behind him, and again starts to challenge in 1 and 2.
Chase Elliott to the inside of Preston Peltier, give him the third spot, battle for the lead. Johnny Sauter to the inside of Bubba Pollard. Pollard trying to make the outside groove work. He holds them off for now.
That outside lane is pretty good to be able to hold them off if you just get on the gas at the right times. Preston Peltier with problems in the 74. He's going to check up and let part of the field go by. Peltier got some contact from the inside. Johnny Sauter taking over the lead, and at the line we'll have it at 108.
Johnny Sauter, your new leader in the number 5 machine, your VDL Fuel Systems Fast Qualifier, taking over the top spot. As Bubba Pollard second, Chase Elliott third, Preston Peltier shuffled way back after contact with the number 9, Chase Elliott. Elliott, no worse for wear, still runs in third. Austin Theriot is up to fourth. Scotty Ellis shuffled back to fifth.
And Preston Peltier's problems continue. I'm not so sure that it was just the contact that caused him an issue. He was starting to fade right before that problem. He slows to a crawled pace down in 3 and 4. Continues on along the inside retaining wall. We've completed this time at the strike for Johnny Sauter the first 10 laps of the second half of the race. Pollard running in second, Elliott running third, Austin Theriot running fourth, and nearly 3 wide. Grissom caught in the middle, back in the field with David Reagan and Daniel Hemrick.
Scotty Ellis fifth, Jeff Cannon running in the 6th spot. TJ Reed has worked his way up to 7th, and he challenged Cannon for the 6th spot. Russell Fleeman right there, David Reagan at 9th. The battle is 4-10, as you mentioned. Kyle Grissom in the 31, Daniel Hemrick in the 98.
And for that number 6 position, again, a challenge to the inside. TJ Reed was very good in the early part of the first half of the race, and again looks to be strong in the second portion early on. We'll see if it continues or if he fades again, but TJ Reed has picked up 6th from Jeff Cannon. Back to 7th goes Cannon, followed in 8th by Fleeman. 9th is Reagan, and 10th the battle. Here comes Hemrick to the low side of Grissom.
Up front, Johnny Sauter continues to lead into 5. Bubba Pollard riding second. He's got a back bumper full of Chase Elliott, the number 9 machine. Elliott searching her way around the 2013 Southern Super Series runner-up.
Elliott closing the gap, nearly there, just about to mount a challenge on that number 26 of Bubba Pollard through turns 1 and 2. Carlin separates the two. They have found themselves with so many late model wins over the last couple of years. Elliott, so many big wins. Right now looking for his second SpeedFest Super victory. Has picked up, again, as I mentioned earlier, 3 pro victories in SpeedFest competition. And just waiting for the right time to pounce on the 26 of Pollard, and I think that time may be now.
Elliott searches to the inside, thinks better of it, tucks in back behind Bubba Pollard. Both Pollard and Elliott slowly but surely wheeling into number 5 of Johnny Sauter. Perhaps Sauter is loaded back just a little bit, maybe perhaps saving a little something for the end of the race. As here comes Chase Elliott to the inside of Bubba Pollard going into 3.
Wheel to wheel, they race through 3 and 4, clean and green for the first now 17 circuits at the line for Sauter in the second half of the race. Elliott on the inside of Pollard. Elliott kind of got boxed in a little bit on the restart, but I don't think it's going to matter in the long run. He's going to be able to close on Sauter here soon. He clears Bubba Pollard in 3 and 4, and Dawsonville, Georgia driver Chase Elliott is back up to 2nd.
Pollard shovel back to 3rd. Austin Theriot comfortably in 4th. Scotty Ellis, good run for him running in the 5th spot. TJ Reed in 6th. Jeff Cannon shoveled back to 7th. David Reagan up to 8th. Russell Fleeman 9th. Now Daniel Hemrick up in the top 10. And Sean West Townley is working his way up to 11th now in the number 5.
John Kaufman, who runs in the 20th position, going a lap down in turn number 2, moves all the way to the bottom of the racetrack, allows Sauter to go by, Chase Elliott to go by next, and Elliott is closing quickly on Johnny Sauter. Trouble, turns 1 and 2. Waters in the number 5 around. Bryant and Jones went off the raceway, and one other stopped up in turn number 2 as well.
Looks like the 51 of Brandon Oakley also stopped over there in turns 1 and 2. Almost, it is Oakley in the 51 as he pulls away. Spencer Waters facing the wrong way in the orange number 5 machine. Caution flag will fly. 120, make it 121 this time by 79 laps to go. So 1 to go signal being given this time by Chief Starter Scotty Menlin. We will hit the 125 lap mark. 5/8 of the way through the Zaxby SpeedFest 200. 125 in, 75 laps to go. Johnny Sauter, your VDL Fuel Systems Fast Qualifier and new track record holder, picking up a $500 bonus for those efforts, is your leader in the number 5 machine. Looking to pick up another $300 cash bonus from Team Construction if he can go on and win this event. As Chase Elliott picking up a $100 cash bonus for leading from pitboxes.com for leading at the halfway break in the number 9 machine.
Coming to green off of turn number 4, Scott Minlin bouncing around in the starter stand, and we're ready for the green off of 4. A good restart for Johnny Sauter with Chase Elliott going to the high side with about a half-car length back. And Johnny Sauter reassumes the lead. He's out front. Elliott trying to hold off the 26 of Pollard for second.
And behind them, Scotty Ellis to the inside of Austin Terrio. That is for the 4 spot. TJ Reed right there as well. In the number 41, Elliott stays off Pollard for now and sets his sights on the number 5 of Johnny Sauter.
TJ Reed to the outside of Scotty Ellis. Ellis, the driver that took no tires during the break, gave him great field position and restarted in the first spot, but he's about to fall out of the top 5 with TJ Reed running well in the second half of this race. He's going for the 5th position. He's going to get it soon as he works around the outside of Scotty Ellis.
Behind them, David Reagan going around the outside of the 33 of Jeff Cannon. Reagan taking 4 tires. Those 4 new Hoosiers to his benefit as he gets around Jeff Cannon in the 33 to take over the 7th spot. He'll set his sights on Scotty Ellis, who was just passed by TJ Reed, who's now in the top 5.
Watching John West Townley work the outside lane has Daniel Hemrick to the bottom. Hemrick and Townley really taking it high on the backstretch. Thinking that Zaxby's number 5 of Townley was going to get off into the dirt, but he was able to avoid doing so. Drops in line behind Daniel Hemrick. Up front, Johnny Sauter continues to lead in the number 5. Working on lap 131. 131 laps completed. 59 laps to go. Sauter, your leader. Chase Elliott, Bubba Pollard, Austin Terrio, TJ Reed, your top 5. Following Reed is Ellis holding off David Reagan right now. Reagan running 7th, and we've got caution out. Yellow flag on the raceway. Debris in turn number 1. CRA officials are reporting a piece of debris being spotted by a couple of CRA officials, so taking no chances. We'll throw the yellow flag on this one. Sauter had the much better restart last time. Let's see if Elliott tries to stay up alongside this time, coming to 4. They'll complete lap 136 this time by. Chief Star Scotty Menlin, the green flag in hand while he's still up in the air. It is out. We're racing. Johnny Sauter, your leader. Chase Elliott, you're running in 2nd. Bubba Pollard 3rd. Austin Terrio in 4th. Pollard to the inside of Elliott going to 3. Did the same thing on the last restart. This one was a little bit better for Chase. He was able to stay ahead of Pollard for the last moment. We've got trouble in turn number 4. One of the cars around is John West Townley. John West Townley has spin on the bottom portion of turn number 4. Comes at lap 137. And Townley goes around, avoids any major damage. It was in a big-time battle mid-pack, and Townley gets it moving again, but losing some valuable track position. Tough break for the Zaxby's machine. Zaxby's our title sponsor this weekend, and Tony Townley and his gang with 600 Zaxby's locations all over the Southeast. Title sponsor of this weekend's events. Unfortunately for their driver, John West Townley, bringing out caution flag number 11 of this event. CRA pace truck still leading the field. They've gone double wide the last time at the line. This time the 1 to go, moments away from another restart. Short cautions, majority of the cases today in this event. Of course, we had the serious crash earlier towards the beginning of the first 100 for the Zaxby SpeedFest 200 for Clay Rogers down in turn number 3, hit the end of the wall that leads into the pits. Fortunately, Clay able to get out of the car under his own power. Just some injuries that are being checked out at the local hospital. I believe possibly a wrist injury there from what we were hearing on Clay Rogers. ARCA CRA Super Series powered by Jegs Pace Truck pulls into the infield. Johnny Sauter, your leader in the number 5. Chase Elliott riding 2nd on the outside of row number 1. These double file restarts. Chief Star Scotty Menlin bouncing in the air. He's about 10 feet up in the air. The green flag is out. We're back underway. The number 5 of Johnny Sauter and the 9 of Chase Elliott really using up the track. All the way up the banking they went. This time much the same though. The 5 of Sauter goes out front. Elliott trying to drop in line behind him will be able to do so. He's in 2nd, Bubba Pollard in 3rd, and Austin Terrio has moved into 4th.
David Reagan looking to move into the top 5 as he battles with the 41 of TJ Reed. Jeff Cannon doing some Baja down the backstretch, gets back on the racetrack as Lee Tissett gets by in the number 71. Cannon trying to get back in the fold in the 33.
I think Tissett was using up Jeff Cannon a little bit down the backstretch into the 3rd turn, and we do have a caution as John Kaufman has gone around coming off of turn number 4. Marines number 58 has spun coming off of corner number 4. John Kaufman brings out the yellow 144. Laps complete.
56 laps to go. Johnny Sauter is your leader in the number 5. Chase Elliott is 2nd. Bubba Pollard 3rd. Austin Terrio 4th. The battle was for 5th between the 77 of David Reagan and the 41 of TJ Reed.
Chase Elliott having to hold off Bubba Pollard on the last few restarts via that outside lane. It hasn't really had a chance to set up a challenge on Johnny Sauter, and Sauter's car looks to be very good right now, much better than maybe it was in that first portion of the race tonight.
And we'll see what happens with a potential longer green flag run this time. Once the green flag comes out, as Johnny Sauter, Chase Elliott lead the field through turns 3 and 4. Bubba Pollard inside of row number 2 next to Austin Terrio. Scotty Minlin, the Chief starter's got the green flag in hand one more time, and we're back underway.
Good restart for Chase Elliott this time. Sauter nearly rubbing paint middle of the straightaway. Sauter's going to pull ahead in 1 and 2. That car is a rocket on the bottom, and Chase Elliott's going to be able to drop in line behind him. Pollard running 3rd. Running 4th is Terrio. Closes the door on TJ Reed. They're all running along the bottom. Single file separation back to about 7th.
David Reagan trying to battle with, or trying to get away from Scotty Ellis in the 83. Behind him is Daniel Hemrick in the 98, the 31, and Kyle Grissom. Whatever they fix in that pit stop, it really works for Grissom. He is challenging Daniel Hemrick and Scotty Ellis.
Again, it looked like something underneath the left rear, probably putting a rubber in, pulling a rubber out, just adjusting the setup a little bit for Grissom, but he is running mid-pack right now, taking advantage of some of the recent cautions and double file restarts. 2 cars break away in the front of the field. Johnny Sauter being hounded by Chase Elliott. Sauter's car not quite as good coming off of 2. Elliott may be trying to set up a good passing zone to get around the Nacita, Wisconsin driver.
John Kaufman pulls on the pit road in the 58 machine as Chase Elliott is all over Johnny Sauter in the number 5. Elliott with a good run off of turn number 2. He'll try to pull up side by side. Sauter shuts the door and it turns 3 and 4.
And Elliott says, no you don't, I'm going to knock your door down. He moves him over. Here he comes to the inside lane down the front stretch. Side by side, now Sauter giving Elliott some room. Car looks to be decent in the outside groove as they head to 3.
Sauter shuts the door once again going into turn number 3. Elliott looks to the high side, thinks better of it as they complete lap 155. 45 laps to go. Time to get down to the nitty-gritty, if you will. Johnny Sauter continues the lead. Get that out fast,
hey,
right?
He consumed up some dirt coming off of turn number 2 that time and kicked up some dust. Nearly got a little too far off the track. Used it up, but he stays ahead of Chase Elliott.
Bubba Pollard is 3rd, Austin Terrio is 4th, TJ Reed is 5th, David Reagan 6th, Daniel Hemrick has worked up to 7th, Scotty Ellis is 8th, Kyle Grissom 9th, Anderson Bowen round 10th.
Nearly half straightaway lead for Lee Duo over the top of the 26 of Pollard, the 57 of Terrio running decent tonight. Had some bright spots late in the going of that first half of the race, but right now TJ Reed is challenging him for 4th. Elliott's car not quite as good going in. He runs a higher lane, but that sets him up to come off strong in turn number 2. That's where he was almost able to take advantage of Johnny Sauter a little while ago. Right now just a car length separating the 2.
Elliott trying to figure out.
David Reagan spins it sideways. Off the track he goes. He's able to lock it down. And you know, a year ago, David Reagan went off the track about the same part of the racetrack, and he caught the whole grass area out there on fire. They did a pre-burn this year to avoid having fires tonight.
Yeah, no fires this weekend for SpeedFest 2014 as David Reagan goes for a ride. Appears to be okay. The number 77 machine, he'll keep it moving forward. This time by completing lap 160. 160 laps in the books, 40 laps remaining. Johnny Sauter continuing to show the way. The number 5 machine, Chase Elliott riding in 2nd. Bubba Pollard is 3rd. Austin Terrio 4th. TJ Reed rounding out the top 5.
Sauter low side, Elliott high side. The last few times Elliott's been able to get out in the second spot, drop in line behind Sauter. This time out the line, Elliott had a slight advantage across the stripe. Down into 1 and 2 they race, still battling it out, rubbing some paint. Elliott has to check up because Sauter ran him up the banking. Here comes Bubba Pollard. Pollard to the low side of Chase Elliott for second. Heads up move for Chase Elliott, by the way. He could have been in the grass.
Without a doubt, and now Bubba Pollard challenging Elliott, but now Elliott pulls away. Coming out of turn number 2, gets such a great run off of turn number 2. Trying to close the gap on the number 5 of Johnny Sauter, who leads 167 in the books.
Chase Elliott will be running full-time for NASCAR Nationwide Series in 2014. Sauter full-time in the Truck Series as he's been for several seasons, has had some great runs, some wins, some top 5 finishes there. A veteran in the top 3 NASCAR ranks in Sauter, a virtual newcomer for those ranks in Chase Elliott. And right now 2 car lengths separate the two coming off the second corner.
First battle we see is the battle for the 5th spot. The 41 of TJ Reed as Daniel Hemrick flanking his outside. The number 98 machine. Hemrick decides to pull up behind the 41, drops the bottom. Number 1 tries to pass that way. Kyle Grissom right there as well on the number 31.
Very equal laps right now being turned by the top 2, and they're much quicker than the rest of the field. They're pulling away from Bubba Pollard, Austin Theriault, who's in 4th, and 5th place runner TJ Reed.
170 laps completed, 30 laps to go. We're 17/20ths of the way through the Zaxby SpeedFest 200 for the ARCA CRA Super Series, powered by Jags.
That's a fraction you don't hear very often, Matt, as they cross the line. Just a car length or 2 separating the two. Is Elliott biding his time for maybe a late race challenge, or is he trying his best to close right now and start it again? You know the gloves are going to be off now after Sauter ran him all the way up the track in turn 2. Elliott, it's going to be just battle for the victory. Bring it home in one piece in victory lane, or don't bring it home at all.
That is for sure. Elliott's got the fishing pole out, trying to reel in Johnny Sauter with the laps winding down. 173 in this time by.
Elliott closing little by little. Smooth, those 2 drivers at the front of the field. Elliott definitely better on the exit of turn number 2. Sauter gets into the turns a little bit better, but I think Chase Elliott just about ready to mount another challenge. What a great run through the middle of 3 and 4 he had within a car length now. 174 on the board.
Bubba Pollard in 3rd. Austin Theriault in 4th, TJ Reed in 5th. But up front, Chase Elliott now on the back bumper of Johnny Sauter. Takes a beat to the inside, coming out of 4th, nothing doing.
For what might transpire over the next few laps, maybe a great move by Bubba Pollard's team not to change any tires. He might be in the best position right now. Chase Elliott to the inside of Johnny Sauter for the race. Leads some slight contact as the 2 get together, middle of 3 and 4.
Sauter maintains control, but Chase Elliott is lurking. Elliott to the inside, shows him the horn going into turn number 3. He shows it to him again, coming out of turn number 4, but Sauter hangs on. Sauter maintains the lead going into turn number 1.
If Rubin's racing, they're doing fine because they're barely touching each other right now. Just a little rub here, a little rub there. Nothing dirty at this point. Not really moving him over. Chase Elliott has shown his nose a couple of times to the inside. Sauter trying to protect as much as he can. His car not quite as good right now as Chase Elliott's, but he is wheeling that number 5 for everything it's worth.
Elliott letting him know he's there one more time. Now he takes a peek to the inside. Nothing doing once again. Sauter shuts the door. Elliott tries to open it back up. Coming out of turn number 4. 20 orbits to go.
Down into the first corner we go. Chase Elliott still working hard at the bottom. The 5 of Sauter. He must like the outside lane a little bit better. He can keep his momentum up as Elliott pulls up to the number on the side of the number 5.
Sauter hanging on for dear life. Chase Elliott searching high, searching low, trying to figure out a way around the number 5 of Johnny Sauter. Sauter with the lead going into 3 and 4. Elliott, oh, we got trouble in turn number 4. Kyle Bryant turns it around. Caution flag one more time.
Yellow out for the 79 of Bryant, who spun. The leaders get by. Look out! Bryant ran into the 5 of Sauter as he tried to get back around the leaders. And we'll be back to green 20 laps from the finish of the Zaxby SpeedFest 200. Sauter on the inside, Elliott on the outside. Last time they restarted, Elliott stayed with him in the outside groove till turn 2 when Sauter kind of took his lane away from him, and Elliott had to check up, and it was a wise move to check up, or he might be located in the creek that runs by.
ARCA CRA Super Series powered by Jegs Pace Truck pulls down into the infield. It's in the hands of Johnny Sauter on the inside. Chase Elliott on the high side. Chase starter Scotty Benlin bouncing up and down the flag stand. He's excited for this finish. Green flag is out. We're back underway.
Elliott with a good restart. Sauter pulls up alongside. They maybe rub a little paint on the front straightaway. Sauter coming off of turn number 2. Elliott stays on the outside groove, right up along the outside of the raceway, and Elliott's going to drop into line. No, he won't. Going to try it again to the second lane. Meanwhile, they pull away as Sauter comes up the banking. Elliott still working hard in the second. What a battle up front of the Zaxby SpeedFest 200.
Sauter shuts the door, coming out turn 2. Oh, big trouble. TJ Reed and Kyle Grissom getting together. Reed was up on 2 wheels there momentarily as the caution flag will come out one more time.
Reed was on the inside lane. Grissom was on the outside, and Grissom had the driver door and roof area covered up by the right side of Reed's car, as Reed's car was up on the left side wheels, and he pulls right inside the infield here at Watermelon Capital Speedway. Looks like TJ Reed, who has run around the top 5 in the top 10 for the major portion of this race tonight, is calling it a day. 182 on the board right now.
We got 18 laps remaining here in Zaxby SpeedFest 200 for the ARCA CRA Super Series powered by Jegs. Speed51.com's live radio broadcast of the entire Zaxby SpeedFest weekend. Along with Adam Mackey, I'm Matt Breer. We thank you all for tuning in throughout the afternoon and into the evening. Even my dog Jegs has been listening throughout the day, and every time we say Jegs, his head pops up, he growls a little bit, and kind of whines a little bit too. So sorry about that, buddy. We'll see you home tomorrow.
18 from the end. Sauter on the inside. Elliott on the outside. Here they come off of turn 4 to get back underway. 19 to go.
Side by side. Once again, Elliott with a good, strong move on the outside, but Sauter shuts the door. He slammed the door. Bubba Pollard now looking to the inside of Chase Elliott. Elliott had to back off, which allows Pollard to the inside, but no, Elliott right on the back over Sauter.
That's to frustrate Elliott as Sauter takes him up the banking again, and now Chase Elliott closes on Sauter. You got to be aware if you're Bubba Pollard, if you're Austin Terrio, because like we've said a couple of times, the gloves are definitely going to be off between those top 2. Here comes Chase Elliott. He's there, right on Johnny Sauter's rear bumper. He looks to the inside. Side by side, they come off of turn number 2. Down the back stretch they race. Chase Elliott on the low side of Sauter, one of the better runs he's had with him. They make contact. Sauter goes around. Elliott continues. Caution flag is out.
My goodness, you knew something had to give. And Sauter goes around in turn number 4. My goodness.
Sauter had run Elliott nearly off the track twice on the last few restarts, and now Sauter gets moving again. Elliott continued on. Really wasn't any abrupt contact or anything down in 3 and 4. They were rubbing. They were side by side, and the 5 car of Sauter spun around.
And Sauter with some cosmetic damage to the number 5 machine. It looks like a little small. Looks like
so here we go. Sauter is flying through the field. He is going to go up and pull right alongside Chase Elliott down the back straightaway. So Elliott and Sauter communicating on the backstretch. Sauter turning right in front of Elliott. Elliott's got to be careful here not to mess up a wheel, mess up a tire. Sauter goes by the pace truck down in turns 4. We'll continue on to the back of the field. $17 laps still left. This one not over yet. 17 from the finish. Chase Elliott restarting from the inside lane has his toughest challenger in this race. Johnny Sauter still behind pit wall. Daniel Hemrick in 3rd. 4th, Lee Tissett in 5th. The 33 of Jeff Cannon. Field coming to green off of turn number 4. 17 from the finish.
Elliott on the inside. Terrio on the outside. Green flag is out. We're back underway. And Terrio staying with the number 9 of Chase Elliott. He's right on his back bumper, but Elliott with such a good run off of turn number 2. Gets away just a little bit from the Fort Kent main driver.
Terrio running right along the bottom lane, right along the inside retaining wall in turns 3 and 4. He's losing a car length or 2 to Elliott as Elliott does set sail. Coming off the second corner, that car is excellent from middle off, and we've seen that when he was battling with Sauter. There goes Bowen around, Anderson Bowen around, Jones around, and everybody else able to make it by. No major contact, no major damage. Just a 2-car spin. Anderson Bowen that started that one. Brandon Jones spinning in the aftermath to avoid the accident and caution out. We've completed another lap or 2 under that green flag run. And next time they will come to green 184. Complete 16 laps to go.
And right behind Elliott and Austin Terrio, the 98 of Daniel Hemrick, the 33 of Jeff Cannon. That is your top 4 in this race. Hemrick could play a role in the outcome of this. He is now right behind Chase Elliott, just almost like he was for the All-American 400 back in November in Nashville, as they were 1-2 in that event. So we'll see what transpires as Elliott and Terrio lead them into 3 and 4.
Chase Elliott on the inside, Austin Terrio on the outside. The green flag waves coming off of the fourth corner. Elliott moving forward again. Terrio in the outside lane goes really high into 1. He's trying to hold off the 98 of Daniel Hemrick. So far he is by half a car length, nearly 3 wide behind him. Here comes Reagan. Nearly some contact between Tissot and the 83 car of Elliott.
Up front, Daniel Hemrick takes the spot from Austin Terrio. He'll now set his sights on the number 9 of Chase Elliott. If Hemrick has anything for Elliott, he's going to have to show it here awfully quick. 14 laps remaining for Chase Elliott.
Elliott, Hemrick, Terrio, Jeff Cannon, and the 5th place car, Scotty Ellis. Single file formation, David Reagan on the move again, had a spin, made a pit stop to the bottom of Ellis. He goes, bonsai move, car really hooked up on the bottom lane through 3 and 4.
Reagan to the inside of double front row starter Scotty Ellis. That is a battle for the 5th spot. Reagan trying to get back in the top 5 as he'll look to clear Ellis and chase after Jeff Cannon for that 4th spot. Meantime, up front, Chase Elliott, your leader. 12 laps to go. Daniel Hemrick second, round in a hurry.
Up to the 8th position, making some moves late. The Zaxby's number 5 of John West Townley. He's in the top 10 for the first time today, and he's going now for the 8th position. Townley on the inside of Garrett Campbell picks up the spot. Kyle Grissom trying to come along as well.
Chase Elliott showing the way in the number 9 machine. Daniel Hemrick trying to reel him in while also trying to fight off Austin Terrio. This time by 10 laps to go. 10 laps to go for Chase Elliott as David Reagan takes over the 4th spot.
Originally started this race on the pole with David Reagan. His lead didn't last all that long. Chase Elliott was a rocket early. He's a rocket right now. He leads by half a straightaway over Daniel Hemrick. And running 3rd is Austin Terrio. 4th, David Reagan. 5th, Jeff Cannon. 9 laps from the finish.
Scotty Ellis in 6th. John West Townley has moved up to the 8th spot, the number 5. Garrett Campbell is 9th. Kyle Grissom rounding out the top 10 as Chase Elliott continues to inch forward ahead of Daniel Hemrick.
Elliott moves through turns 1 and 2. Little Sunday evening cruise right now because out of striking distance at this point is Daniel Hemrick. 7 to go.
Elliott leads. Hemrick now opening up a gap on the 57 of Austin Terrio. David Reagan trying to reel in your top 3 machines. Perhaps he's hoping for a caution to get back into contention. Jeff Cannon rounding out the top 5, this time by 6 to go.
16.243 that time for Elliott, 16.398 for Hemrick. Terrio still in the 16.2s. He's kind of closing on Hemrick right now, trying to make a move for that number 2 position. 5 laps to go, 5 laps from the finish for Chase Elliott.
Elliott continues to pull away from the 2013 champion Daniel Hemrick in the 98. Austin Terrio keeping pace with Hemrick. As they make their way through 3 and 4, Chase Elliott continues to show the way into number 9.
Down to the final stages of this one. Elliott's car so good through the middle of the corners and off the turns. That's where he's picked up his biggest amount of room against other competitors in this event tonight. Crossing the stripe at the line, 197 in, 3 laps to go. Chase Elliott looks to be on his way to his second SpeedFest victory. Matt Freer to bring it home.
The battle is for the second spot. The 98 of Daniel Hemrick, the 57 of Austin Terrio. 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go for Chase Elliott in the number 9 machine. Opening up just under a 2-second lead over Hemrick and Terrio. Terrio, who's battling for the second spot. David Reagan fourth, running out of time as the white flag comes out. 1 lap to go for Chase Elliott in the number 9. Daniel Hemrick second, Terrio to third. Reagan fourth, Cannon is fifth, but he'll go into turn number 3. He'll come on a turn number 4. 2014 Rookie of the Year title contender, the NASCAR Nationwide Series, Chase Elliott wins SpeedFest 2014. Daniel Hemrick comes home in second. Austin Terrio will finish in third. David Reagan will come home in fourth. Jeff Cannon rounding out the top 5. Scotty Ellis finishes in 6th. John West Townley is 7th. Lee Tissett is 8th. Kyle Grissom is 9th. And Garrett Campbell rounds out the top 10. Well, race fans, this young man going to the NASCAR Nationwide Series for the 2014 season. He'll compete for the Rookie of the Year title in that series. But on his way there, he picks up his second SpeedFest Super Late Model title of his career to go with his 3 Pro Late Model titles. That is an impressive 5 SpeedFest titles for the 18-year-old from Dawsonville, Georgia, in the number 9 machine, Chase Elliott. We'll send it down trackside to Adam Mackey to talk to our winner, Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott getting his safety equipment off, trying to get it a drink of water in the number 9 machine. And as soon as we get down there, we'll send it down to Adam Mackey with our winner's interview with the winner of the Zaxby SpeedFest 200, Chase Elliott.
Getting ready to climb out from behind the wheel of the number 9 down here in Victory Lane. Yet another big super late model win for the driver from Dawsonville, Georgia. Chase Elliott. As the stage comes through, Chase Elliott drying off inside the cockpit of the number 9. The Rocky Ridge Custom Trucks, HendrickCars.com, number 9. Big thanks to you race fans coming out this afternoon and evening for the 2014 Zaxby SpeedFest. Your winner climbing out from behind the wheel of the car. Let's hear it for Chase Elliott. Chase, congratulations. You were a late entry to the event this weekend. We didn't know we were going to see you here until late on Friday. You showed up Saturday, and I think right now you think it's probably not a bad decision.
Yeah, it was a great decision. Obviously, really happy about it run the night. Our car wasn't perfect in practice. Made a couple adjustments for the race. I felt like we're really good, and fortunately came out on top there.
Chase, we don't know how much we'll see in late model racing in the future. You made it to the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Congratulations on a full-time ride upcoming. But today, what a job wheeling that number 9 car. It wasn't easy. You and Johnny really had a heated battle at the front of the pack.
Yeah, we did. I mean, I raced Johnny hard. You know, he leaned on me. I leaned on him. And, you know, I by no means, I didn't intentionally wreck him down here. You know, that was, he decided to take a little bit lower entry to the corner. I took my normal entry. We got into each other, and fortunately, we were able to hang on to it, but, you know, I would have been happy to race with him to the end. Definitely not the way I like to do things there, but, happy about the outcome. I want to thank Rocky Ridge, everybody that came down to help this weekend, and just really proud of our effort.
Congratulations, Chase. You're looking forward to February, getting everything started.
Absolutely. Excited to get down to Daytona. It's a good way to start off the year here.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Chase Elliott, another big late model win here at the Watermelon Capital Speedway, his second SpeedFest victory.